This is like some of the best stuff on earth, and if you, whatever. So, so you want to hear what it's like just to get to bookings, otherwise known as what happened to me after the story I told. So let's just,
Here we go!
for the sake of like, whatever, I've dealt with police like a couple times, okay? And, you know, this time felt a little different because, you know, the gun was pulled on me and I'm like sitting with the other people and I'm just trying to relax. And I was like, damn, that didn't work out for just all these like cops to roll up on me. I really realized the connection, but like I was wondering why it was such a severe answer. So when cops come and just say, put your hands behind your head, like they don't identify themselves. They were plain clothes. So I turned around and I was like, what? Like I thought somebody was kidding with me.
FBI, open up!
And then I looked around and I was like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. Yo, it's like who the fuck? You could have been anybody. Like, I really thought it was just somebody from like the group that I hadn't paid attention to. I just said it. So like, they just take us off the street immediately. There was a girl with us. She started crying. I was just telling her to be calm because we didn't do anything. So like, this is gonna be over in like 10 seconds.
Afraid you couldn't be more wrong.
It's like, just let them do what they gotta do. I was fucking complacent to a system I hated. So they take us to the little cell that they got in their police precinct. It's up in the Bronx, so we're near Fordham, so whatever precinct that is. And fucking, it's just so weird. Like, they just took all our stuff, threw us in the back. It felt so hollow in that place, bro. Sitting there in these little benches with other people on the floor, and one of the dudes starts freaking out. He's like, I have priors. And I'm like, well, one, why am I with you then? Two, like, what are the, like the other dudes in the little cell thing, the holding place, I don't know what you call it. He's just like, yo, so what do you have? And he's like, oh, I was caught smoking weed one time. Like, leave some dumb shit.
I'm freaking out, man.
You are freaking out, man.
And we're like, okay, like, relax, calm down. Man's pacing back and forth. So I'm going to skip the rest of that night because I want to get to the most important part when they take you to the actual, like, central bookings place. Yo. So you know those, like, movies where they chain all the slaves up and, like, one chain with a bunch of handcuffs, like, everybody walks in? That's what they put you in. Like, it was a group transfer, and they, like, had this thing set up, and we were all handcuffed by the same chain. Like, they were hauling us off to Alabama. And I'm like, wow. Wow. So we get there, and it's a little bit more modern, and I don't recognize where we are because the way they drive around it, I've never been to 161 before. Like, I somehow skipped that in my travels to the Bronx. I'm usually on 167. I didn't realize that was 161 because I had never just walked down that path. So I felt like we were in a completely different part of the Bronx altogether. So bring us in, and it gets mad weird in there. Like, I guess they're processing us, taking our shots or whatever, our fingerprints, and it was just like weird in there. It felt like it wasn't a place that it was supposed to be, but it existed. And I don't know how to explain that any further. So, goddamn, it's already 5 minutes in. I probably cut something out somewhere, so it's probably less than that. I should probably shut up and continue with the story. I know. Yo, so they take a group of us down, and they're like, you're going to spend the night down here. And I'm like, down here? Like, how far are we going? They take us to, like, the sub-basement, which is, like, freezing cold.
Sub-Zero with fatality.
And I'm not talking air conditioner freezing cold. I'm talking, like, meat packing plant freezing cold. I'm talking like back of the butcher freezing cold. So, yo, there's like 4 benches in there, at least 12, 13 dudes. Like, it was so cold in there, and I didn't have the right clothes on because if you remember, I was suited up like a fucking moron. And, yo, I had to use, so they gave you this crappy like sandwich and milk. And I'm like, why would you give people that and no bathroom? Like, okay, whatever. It was so cold and there were no places to sleep that I had to use the sandwich and the milk as a pillow along with my jacket. But I couldn't like take the jacket off all the time because it was cold in there and that was my only source of warmth. So like I eventually got to sleep for like 2 hours and I woke up and I was like, oh shit, this really real. We really out here. And then they take us up finally after, morning definitely. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning at this point. So we had been down there since about midnight. So 8 hours in that thing. Apparently that's quick. So, I'm sorry. It's just, I tell this story and it's like, yo, it sounds so trivial to just have to spend a day and a half in a place like that. But at the same time, it's just so wicked that a place like that, like, and I still don't know what I've done. Like, I haven't been told my charges. I haven't been told anything. So it's weird. It's super, super weird. So they take us up to, I guess, one of the main holding areas. Cram like 12, 15 people in there.
Smell like bitch in here. All y'all smell like bitch to me.
One bathroom, one toilet, in front of everybody. You only get a little door to protect yourself. I spend from like 8 a.m. to must have been, 11:30 p.m.? No, I definitely spent a whole day in there. So we're going to say like 11. Oh, no, it was definitely like 11:30 p.m., I'd say. So 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. So we're at 2 days now. And they had on like this, just Fox 5 or whatever, and like we had to sit through that. Nobody was really talking. But like the other side, like apparently people when they was coming in, they knew each other, so it was just funny, like watching them react. And it was like they were still homeboys, even though they knew where they was at, and it was long and arduous and painful, and it was uncomfortable, and like. They kept pulling people in, and you were waiting for your case to be called. So I finally got my case called. It must have been something like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Turns out that the cop had called in a possible burglary charge. And the burglary charge was 3rd degree. They were surprised because they were like, I'm pretty sure you didn't enter. Like, I'm pretty sure you didn't take anything, and I'm pretty sure we've never seen you before. You don't have a record.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Plus, so the DAs come see you. And one of them was like, yo, I know you from like, I think Facebook. And I was like, okay. Like, anyway, yeah, it was a 3rd degree burglary charge. I think I butchered that sentence up terribly. And they were like, all right, we don't see any real evidence here about like anything. We're just trying to figure out like what we're going to do next. And I was like, okay, thank you. And they was like, it's nothing. You probably won't even like do anything after this. So another 3 hours later, a bunch of cops took me and other people out, took us to the side in handcuffs, by the way. We had to walk through the whole thing in handcuffs, unlocked the handcuffs and told us deuces. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? yo, really? That. So I missed a wedding. Because of that. And it was supposed to be a good wedding. Like I was building my portfolio at this time and I wanted to make a good impression. So just not showing up. I'm glad that the person who invited me was a friend of mine who also works in the videography business, because then I would have been absolutely fucked to just no showing. And I just remember getting out of there, and I remember calling my dad and like letting him know. And I think like when I was down there or something, like, well, as they were taking me out, they were like, your dad came to see you or something, and I was like, oh shit. Okay, cool, dad. So I went back with the other people and I stayed at their house for the night. I forgot why. I think I was just too exhausted, and we were closer to their house than I was to mine. And I was like, I don't feel like going home. There was something about like what we had to do. I think, oh yeah. We had to go back to the precinct to get the stuff. And I was like, I don't really know how to get back home from here. I was naive with the trains. And this was recent too, so like I was really naive with trains for a long time, but I just remembered like I was just tired and I just wanted food, and I was like, fuck it, there's a fly in here, god damn it, little gnat. So yeah, I went home the next day and everybody was like, yo, you disappeared off the face of the earth, what happened? So I told them. Went home, took a shower, took a nice shower, appreciated my house a little bit more, because if that cop had said anything else different, I could have been dead or probably in there for a very long time for some shit that I didn't commit. That shit still haunts me. I don't trust police anymore. Like, I don't trust police anymore. Every interaction I've had with police is a fucking travesty to the fact that, like, I was raised or on some model bullshit. Like, I was always told to respect them. I was always told to like follow their orders or whatever. But like every time I've dealt with the police, it's been a situation that either could have been handled without them or like was only made more aggravating by them. And I don't understand why people don't get that. Like, I don't get the message that I'm trying to send to you by telling you about my time and bookings just to like say, oh, haha, it's a very funny story. Like, that shit makes me agitated. Because that could have turned into anything, and I could have died twice. Imagine if the cops that are being trigger happy and being upset right now were the ones that pulled up on me. What if I didn't have that reaction? What if I was just resisting? Like, what if I realized, like, oh shit, I didn't really do anything. Why is this happening to me? And I wanted questions or answers or whatever right then and there. And what if they were just like, shut up? What if they made it harder? What if they hit me? What if they like popped an eye socket out? What if they tasered me? They don't know I have a heart condition. Like, there's so much to think about whenever a cop stops you that I spent an extra 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Like, I'm just, yo, I know it's funny and I know I tell it funny because it's a cute story, but like at the same time, it's like, yo, there's a problem and we need to fix it. So that's the message of today. As always, like the video, share the video, or just like watch it more than once if it's entertaining to you. If there's anything you want me to talk about, please, for the love of God, tell me, because most of the ideas that I have are like stories. I don't know. Yeah, I think I like saying at the end of it, because I stutter and I don't have an outro yet, that I am still a fucking idiot. And I hope you guys have a great day, be well, and I don't know.